So good morning and welcome to the Saturday Coffee Chat. This is the last one in September. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. We got one more. One more. It's
We
going
went
by fast
yeah,
enough without me
26.
pushing it along, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. So today Deb is going to do a presentation or share on a topic of healthy fats, all about healthy fats. So I'm excited to learn about that, and then we can have time for questions and answers afterwards. So go ahead, take it away, Deb.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a spin-off of what Louise shared last week on vitamins and minerals and healthy fats. I didn't quite understand how necessary it is for us. Before starting this whole journey I use Ultimate Portion Fix and I do use 2B Mindset, but Ultimate Portion Fix, Autumn Calories, puts it into a micro level of how our diet is so important, our nutrition, our macronutrients. So with her method, it's a split of 30% of our foods daily is with healthy fats, and to give you that balanced macronutrients. Well, okay, so what does that mean? It's like, okay, healthy fats. Well, in the UPF world, it's the blue containers, the orange containers, and the teaspoons. And with the combination of that was giving you at least the 30% of your balanced nutrition. However, within that, I gotta share my screen. It's a spin-off again. It's not allowing me to share.
I did hit the, oh wait, shares, there you go.
So like what Louise said last week, you got your vitamins. Well, it's the fat soluble vitamins. This is where your healthy fat is really, really important to have in your diet, because your vitamins that you generate in your body is going to be fed by the food that you eat, with the exception of D. But with the A, D, E, and K, these are the primary fat soluble vitamins that our body needs to recreate daily. And before I started Ultimate Portion Fix, it was more like eating, I thought I eat healthy, having my salads and then my chicken and whatnot. Well, the biggest key with the fat soluble is to have certain fats throughout the day. Eating by consuming it helps generate the vitamins to get in your bloodstream more readily. And I didn't quite understand that until actually we just started talking about this last week. But what I thought was really interesting is, okay, so Louise expounded on what importance A, D, and E, and K are. But with the A, the vision, it helps with the vision and the bone health, the immune system. And then the D is strengthening bones, and then E with the immune systems. Well, that's great. But how does that translate from healthy fat foods into our vitamins? So what Autumn Calories always says, the top 10 in the food groups. Well, each food group has a top 10, but not solely the blue container is your food group for a healthy fat. For instance, for vitamin A, you can get sweet potatoes, carrots, cantaloupe, apricot, and beets. Well, there's your orange container, and your blue excuse me, that's where you got your green container, your purple container, and your carb container. So it's not just solely your blue, orange, or a teaspoon. You can get a lot of your fat soluble vitamins through these other food groups. And that's what was an eye opener to me, because before I started this program, I didn't even eat hummus very often, or avocado for that matter. But those were the missing links that forces me to eat throughout the day through the containers, because that's where the blue, orange, and teaspoons help me get my vitamin and fat soluble vitamins into my system. And that's where the almond butter, the seeds, and the hard cheeses, and all this other wonderful nutrients that we need to have, and how you space it out every day. Like her method was having 2 to 3 containers per meal. Mostly there is some type of a healthy fat within that each meal a day. And that's why it's very important to track your meals, because you don't want to get stuck to have one container left, which is an orange, blue, or a teaspoon. I mean, you can. If you had a teaspoon left for the day, I guess you could just scoop up almond butter and just suck on that for a while. But it was more preferable if you had like celery with the almond butter. So you have your 2 containers. And so the vitamin D, what I found interesting is, okay, our bodies don't generate that very much. That's through the sunlight, but you still can get the vitamin D through food. So I found this image that was really enlightening to me of how the vitamins D specifically get to your system. So you got your sunlight intake, and then you got your food intake. Oh, and that's where the other thing about fat soluble, for having that type of vitamin in your system, it resides in your fat, in your body fat, but it also resides in your liver. So you can store it longer versus the water soluble. You're just kind of expelling it throughout the day through the water. So you can retain it better in your system through your liver and your fat. And so the liver is really important, and most important in the organs in your body. And it's funny, I take that for granted. My dad had pancreatic cancer, and kind of made me think about, he was gaunt. He didn't have much color in his face, and I always thought it was his heart health, but I think it was literally the lack of vitamins in his system. And so I kind of makes me think, because there's cardiovascular issues on my side of the family. But anyways, your liver is what is the primary organ, and you keep that healthy to keep the food intake. And then of course your kidneys filtering what your liver's expelling. But this is where it creates your bone health into your system, and it absorbs, and your calcium and your intestines. Your gut is your health. So I thought this was a great graphic of how vitamin D specifically helps with your whole system. And what else? And then my one note I have is, I'll stop sharing, is I read, what do you call it, Costco, and they have monthly magazines. If you're a Costco membership, and they have these magazines, and they had some great articles on food. And this one, I found a quick one. It was on olive oil, and I didn't realize how rich different oils are, and that's where the vitamin E comes into hand as a fat soluble, because you got your coconut oil, your grapeseed oil, your sunflower oils, coconut oil. But olive oil was interesting, is that for the freshest and best flavor is to buy your olive oil within the year of its harvest date. And each bottle is supposed to show a harvest date. And so then I'm sitting there reading labels going, oh, that's interesting. Well, obviously there is a harvest date on your olive oil. And I didn't realize that. And that just goes to show there's shelf life for freshness and good, wholesome food. And to get the maximum efficiency of these nutrients in your system, make sure you still check the labels and understand there's a reason for some of these expiration dates and harvest dates. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit of foods and olive oil and oils in general, because you can get the synthesized type of oils and you don't want those, the hydrogenated, I can't pronounce that one, but anyways, the bad oils. But that was my little study on healthy fats.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. That's interesting about the oil.
Yeah, it's to keep it fresh and then make sure it's stored in a cool, dark place, not direct sunlight like I have here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the freshness, because I know sometimes even nuts, if you have it sitting there, it has a rancid taste. And I had some olive oil at Cluckwan, my trailer there, throughout the year. And I remember going cooking with it and it was like, ugh. So.
And I thought it was just my cooking.
Right. I blame that.
Blame it on the oil.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Deb, for doing some research on that and putting that together. Very interesting. It is, I find it really fascinating when we kind of dive a little deeper into just the little things like the vitamin D and how, how it's stored, like in the fat soluble, how they're stored in the fatty tissues, and the water soluble, they don't store, they just get expelled from your body, which is why those particular vitamins, we need to make sure we are getting every single day. Mm-hmm. All of them we should get every single day, but the water ones especially are leaving the body that isn't getting used. So the other good thing that you also touched on was the containers, and how even when we have something that is like a red container, it doesn't mean it's just strictly protein. There are different elements of potentially carbohydrates or healthy fats, and there are other macronutrients. And that's why it's harder for us to determine just a generic recipe. What does this equate to? Because unless you can do the old school, math of breaking down the macronutrients, which like bodybuilders do, they do that, and unless you can do that, it's hard to equate what does this particular recipe have. Like we can guesstimate, and that's better than nothing, right? That's better than like I have some recipes and I just kind of guesstimate what it equates to. But a container will have more than just one nutrient in it. And that's if you look at actually 2B Mindset in the plated method, it's either protein, fiber-filled carbs, or veggies. Yeah. It's not, there's no 25% healthy fat, because you're getting healthy fats within your proteins and your veggies and your fiber-filled carbs. Fats are an accessory that she has in there, that you can add to your meal. But even so, you're getting some healthy fats in the fiber, with what you're eating on the 2B Mindset plated method. And of course, tracking, making sure that's working. Right. So, and then if you're looking at your food lists in the containers, again, always encourage you to either go to your book and look at what is on the list and what haven't you eaten in a while, and add that in this next week. Or in the app, when you're using the Nutrition Plus, the little food list there, I will look at that when I'm doing my meal planning, just to look and see what are some foods that maybe I haven't incorporated in a while, especially when I'm getting tired of my meal plans. Like, okay, what can we do to freshen this up? So, so do that. And then if you haven't in a while, I think who's on the call right now, I know we're mostly UPFers. Videos 3 and 4 are good to revisit because they talk about why portion control is important and the macro balancing. So 2 short videos to go and revisit videos 3 and 4 in the UPF. So awesome. So any questions? Any input?
You know, I do have a question. I didn't research this with hummus. I've never made homemade hummus before. I hadn't looked it up, but I think it's from chickpea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you whip it up. But I didn't really know what food group it belonged to, other than it says hummus and for a blue container.
So that's interesting because
We'll find it in the vitamin world. Oh, yeah, Sheila.
There's lots of really good recipes in Beachbody for hummus.
Yeah.
And some spicy ones. And I like spicy hummus and really flavorful in my hummus. And there's some really good recipes in there for adding some punch to it, like throwing peppers in there, or there's a Thai recipe. Anyway, if look in there.
Thank you.
Karen, did you have a comment? Ms. Johnson? Oh, okay.
Well, there is. So my mom got me started on this a couple years ago. I think it's Boarhead make a chocolate hummus. Oh my gosh. If you haven't had that, it is amazing.
I never heard of that.
I never did either. Look at Smith's, because you have Smith's down there, right, Deb?
No, but probably Fry's or Kruger family.
Okay, so yeah, Kroger. Yeah. Anyway, they Boar's Head chocolate hummus, and you know, by looking at the ingredients and the nutritional stuff, it's not bad for you. So yeah, check it out.
Okay.
I usually put it on strawberries or apples or something like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
But interestingly, if you just have chickpeas on their own, they are a yellow container. So that's
they
a good
are
example of
yellow.
A food item that is, you know, different. Hang on.
Oh, okay. It's a bean.
Different container, and also it has different nutrients in it. So
interesting. Yeah.
Yep. Same with you know, pumpkin. If you have pumpkin that's diced, chopped, cubed, whatever, it's a green. But if you have it pureed, it's a purple, and that's because you get so much more pureed. So that ups the sugar content, is my understanding, of the pumpkin, and that you have to count it as a purple.
Yeah.
Like apples versus applesauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you know, it's always good to revisit your resources. We wing it a lot, or we get used to things a lot, but I don't know. And for me, it sort of motivates me a little more. It gets me, you know, pumped up again when I go and just kind of revisit a video or look into our materials to see, you know,
I definitely
find something new.
Become complacent.
Keep things fresh. All right, so next week is prep week. So this 4-step meal planning system that I've been working on, I'm going to roll out next week with you guys. So I'm excited about that. And so I think that's still an area that most people are still struggle with. And I want to really make it very simple and help you with that. So that's coming. We'll see. Hopefully this will help. Yeah. Give you some new tools, some new insights, and just kind of make the process mentally easier. You're still going to have to do the physical work, right? But yeah, that's kind of like the point.
Meal plans?
What's that?
You're not going to give us pre-made meal plans?
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you, I could, and you get those ones every Friday morning. But for me, it's like, I can't follow that. That just doesn't fit into my world. So I pull recipes out of there. And that's when I get a meal plan that's handed to me, that's a lot of what happens with me. It's like, ooh, that's like, I don't like that. Or, I don't have time to be making that. And so those never work for me. And so my whole thing is, I want to teach you. It's like teaching a man to fish, right? So that's my method to my madness. Yeah. Cool. And then if you have any other topics that you want us to, dive into on the coffee chats, definitely, if something pops into your head, just text it to me or Deb. Let us know, because we love, diving into these things and talking about them. We might talk about oils, because oils are fascinating. They have different flash points. Some are good for cooking. Some you should not be using during cooking. The different ways to store them. Things to look for that make an oil either not good, like canola is, sketchy. If you've got to look for certain things to get a good canola oil, or even soybean oil. Those can be healthy and good choices, but some are not. So that might be a good topic to talk about and kind of keep us segueing into this vitamin healthy fat thing. Also, if you haven't checked it out in a while, the monthly fix and the mindset mentorship tiles, you go into there. Deb pointed this out to me. Bobby Calabrese is in there. He's doing little snippets on, things to know about cutting boards and things to know about having good knives, and just making that meal prepping process a little bit better, and different things you should think about with your cutting boards. So, it's always good if you're going in to just kind of root around on the site, know that those are there. Yeah. All right. Well, ladies, I love it. We did this in 30 minutes. I think it's good when we keep it short, kind of like get us a burst of information, finish the energize. I'm actually going to go to upper body burn.
Oh.
Yeah. And so with that, we'll just end with, think about, as we go into October, what are you going to be doing? If you haven't tried the 30-day breakaway sample workout, that's out there now. It's a running program, but it's, so depending, you can walk, right? But go and try it out, because it is cool. You do like 20 minutes of resistance training, upper body, lower body, combination of weightlifting, and then you break away for a 16-minute run, and she runs you through it. And it's almost like how they have it filmed is they have a camera behind her, so you can see the scenery. So if you're on a treadmill, you get really nice scenery. If you're running outside, there's a audio that you can download and play as you're running, and she walks you through, okay, now we're going to up our rate of perceived exertion to a 6, whatever a 6 means to you. And then you, for a minute, and then you run a little faster, and then you walk, and so she has this running program that's kind of like, walks you through that. If running is your thing, or if you want to train to get into a 5K or something like that, then you can do that. So no, you are not a runner. I'm a funner. I don't run much, but I do like to do an occasional 5K, like the turkey trot, or get out and do something like that. So
wrong time of year running outside.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad time of year for us here in the Northern Hemisphere.
Gets dark.
Running in the rain does not sound like much fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, but think about the program that you'll be doing, whatever you're doing now, if you're finishing it up and going into a new one. So,
cool.
All right, ladies, let me take a quick screenshot, and let's all smile. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okie dokie.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.